Have to do the have to do the codes.
I remembered something else about my childhood. You'd probably want to know why I'm so warped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, so I think you've heard about this a little bit, but I was actually bullied a lot in high school. Um, so
Mhm.
about seventh grade, there was well, actually, I think it kind of started in sixth grade, but then I went into seventh grade. There was a kid named Ron Robinson that used to, he was an eighth grader and I was a seventh grader, and he had hit puberty and I had not. So, one thing that people don't know, they just assume that I was always big, but I was only 5'4", like 5'2" maybe, or 5'1" back then. And even when I was a freshman, I was 5'4". And then I got started growing. My sophomore year, I was 5'8". Then I was 6'1", and then eventually I was 6'4". Well, anyway, this Ron Robinson, we were in PE together, and we'd do dodgeball, and of course the eighth graders are going to pick on the seventh graders, and then we all had to shower um, as part of our grade. We wouldn't get an A if we didn't shower. So these kids would always like pee on our legs and stuff like that. They always picked on the younger kids. And then they would actually steal your towel and wipe the crack of their butt and say, "It's Friday." And they would do it in a joking manner, but they would always like throw our clothes, like use our towels and wipe their butts with it. And anyway, they
Mhm.
would punch us in the arms and stuff like that and call us dick or whatever. And so anyway, my about uh, so when we actually got to go to high school after we were eighth graders, so this Ron Robinson was now a freshman, and my mom decided that she was going to save me from being initiated. And what initiation is where they put eggs in your hair and oil in your hair, and they make you roll in the creek, and they uh, make they do all kinds of dumb things like that, and you have to ride in the back of a truck and say freshmen suck. Well, we went to our lava hot springs, and we were coming back, and that's when they come back and initiate you, is when you get off the bus. Well, my mom was there to pick me up, and that just made all those kids mad. So my freshman year, because I wasn't initiated, I got picked on even more than the kids that were initiated. And so I got
Mhm.
punched a lot. And his older brother was Kevin Robinson. And Kevin Robinson he was like a real young football player. Um, and I think their mom used to beat on him and stuff like that. Maybe that's why they were so abusive. But it wasn't just to me; it was to a lot of other kids. But one day, Kevin Robinson, who was way bigger than Ron Robinson, decided he was going to punch me in the stomach about 15 times because he didn't like my mom, and he just dropped me in the middle of the hall. And anyway, so a
Yeah.
lot of my younger years, sophomore, freshman, I kind of hid in the library because I was afraid I was going to get beat up all the time. So, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of bullies back in Soda Springs. It wasn't just the Robinsons. There was a kid named Bruce Gunnell who he stole all my Halloween candy, and um, just we were always like, we'd go get bottles and they'd steal them from us. You used to could get 10 cents a bottle. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I'm sorry that that happened to you. That's a lot to go through as a child. I mean, I'm sure it hurt a lot and I'm sure it was really scary and it was just like, it wasn't just like a short thing either. It sounds like it went on for years. So yeah,
Yeah,
it sucks.
went on for about 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah. And I guess there was a culture back then of not talking about it, I guess. And that was just like, it sounds like it was almost like institutionalized, like the freshman humiliation ritual was kind of like part of school, I guess.
Yeah,
That's kind of
I mean,
crazy.
until people were getting hurt, and then I think they banned it finally. But yeah, they would just like hurt kids and stuff because they didn't like kids, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm glad I didn't have much of that growing up. 'Cause, yeah, maybe I needed a little more. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't think that that does anything good for anybody. But yeah, during our break I was looking at Tacna, Peru on Google Maps. I'd never had before. Looks like it's close to Chile and it's
Yeah.
kind of like an oasis in the
Yeah.
desert. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can share my screen to show
There
you.
was pretty kind of a hole in the wall, but I had one baptism there. His name's Luis Enrique Espinosa Gonzalez, and I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. So he's the
Uh-huh.
only baptism I know that was actually still, I guess he's kind of active. He lives in Chile now, actually.
Oh, really? Can you see
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
screen?
Yep. You're high tech.
It's like right there. Chile's like just
So
a
they're
little
like,
down the coast, I guess.
yeah, they're
But
not that far away.
it looks really cool from the pictures. Was this like the plaza?
Yeah.
Something
Yep.
like
That's
that.
it. That's a mission now. I'm just surprised because there might have been two little wards there when I was there, maybe two, and the wards were small, or they might have been branches. But
Yeah. Looks cool there. And then
I'll get on YouTube and watch. I watch a lot of stuff. Like I'll study Tacna and Cusco and stuff, and Lima and Nazca.
so you
But
were in Cusco as well?
no, I want to go to Cusco. That's why I was thinking, like, if
Oh,
Julie and I went on another mission, if we went to Lima, we could just fly up to Cusco. We could fly to Nazca, but we could just stay in Lima, Peru, where there's more stuff to do. But I don't know.
yeah. Well, and you when you traveled between places, you would just go on buses, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah. We I flew to Arequipa though.
Arequipa.
I've lived in Arequipa, which is another mission, but yeah, Tacna is like almost Chile practically. I think they
Yeah.
have. I remember Chile and Peru had a war or something. There was a big sign or something, but
Yeah. I remember people talking about that a lot down in Chile. Um, and Bolivia didn't get any access to the sea or something, and that was a big deal.
right.
Or at least they said it was. Did you ever see this church?
Probably because all the churches
Probably.
down there are massive, the
Yeah,
Catholic ones.
looks cool. All right, so stop sharing my screen. But so you're in Peru and then you come back and you go back to school, right? Back to
Yeah,
Idaho State.
yeah. I went to Idaho State and I got done in 3.5 years. I just went to summer school and just I worked full time at Albertsons. My GPA dropped, and usually people are better students after their mission because they learn how to study. But I was actually a worse student because the Latino time, show up an hour late for everything. At least down in Peru, that's the way it was. But
Yeah.
like, and I don't know, we would listen to Paul Dunn instead of study the scriptures, and then we'd play basketball and stuff like that. But I mean, we'd study stuff, but a lot of times we're just trying to learn Spanish. And I mean, I don't know. I didn't study as hard as I could have probably, but that's
Mhm.
one of my regrets. I probably should have studied harder, but
But sounds like, well, I've heard you say that you didn't like Pocatello necessarily, but seems like you liked college, the routine of studying and basketball and
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I liked the classes fine. It's just ISU didn't really help me when I got my degree. I thought we didn't have Google back then, and so I didn't really know what the demand was. I just knew that I was interested in marketing, so I just kind of studied it, and then I got a degree, which there was, one job for 50 applicants with college degrees, and so that was kind of a hard time in my life because then I basically had this degree, and I'm making $5.50 an hour driving forklift at social or Sam's Club or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I finally got the job at Social Security after 2 years, but I was working nights. So every time an employer, I sent out resumes to everybody, and um, I'd get a call, and they'd call me at 9 o'clock, and I had gone to bed at like 5:30, and so I'd wake up and they'd say, "Well, who's this loser?" Sounds like he's, like it's in the middle of the night for me, and I'm trying to sound intelligent. And so
Mhm.
anyway, yeah, that went on forever, and I think you've heard the story, but basically, I talked to my uncle and asked him who had the best jobs, and he says, "Well, government. You should try and work for government." So I just called everyone in the phone book, and then the Social Security guy asked me if I spoke Spanish, and I said, "Yes, I do." And he says, "Call me back next month." Well, that went on for 10 months, and then finally, he hired me because I was really persistent. Like he thought if this guy could follow up 10 times in a row, I guess I'll hire him. I guess, but so
Good.
that's how I got the Social Security job. And then I just did that and Sam's Club I worked at Sam's for 7.5 years. So I worked both jobs for 5 years when we are having, I think there's a picture of you on the pallets or whatever. You came to visit me. You're like two or something, but I kind of
Yeah.
regret that a little bit because I just was gone all the time. I think I was in the bishopric too, maybe not. But I was just gone like 4 days a week. So Julie's basically raising all the kids, and I'm trying to work to have enough money to, I guess, survive, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, you probably quit Sam's and then they put you in the bishopric, and so you had
uh,
two jobs
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah, that's probably true. I don't remember what year that was, but that's pretty
Yeah.
young. I was surprised. So,
Yeah. Huh.
well,
Sounds like you're
Charlie,
getting feedback.
yeah. But the other problem was we lived out in the middle of Roberts, and so I'm spending 30, 40, 50 minutes a day in the car driving to and from work. So that took its toll. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably missed most of your guys' early childhood because I was always gone, but probably not worth it. Hindsight's 2020, but I probably should have just tried to work overtime and I didn't know the rules at Social Security. But now I just every time I think about getting a job, I just start begging them for overtime. Like, let me work on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So would you say that um kind of like leisure time has gotten more important from when you were in your 20s, I guess?
yeah, because now well, I try and act like I'm semi-retired, so I take every Friday afternoon off. So I use some of my leave and I leave at noon. I was leaving at 1, but that's just not enough. So I leave at noon. I can get, and a lot of, if I work on Saturday, at least I felt like I had kind of a day off, or at
Mhm.
least two partial days off. So, and me and Julie try and hike, ski, go swimming or do something fun on Friday. So
Yeah.
try and get our crap done during the regular part of the week.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about how you met Mom. How you can tell the
Okay,
story for the record this time.
here's the story, I guess. So, uh, okay, so well, here's my side of the story, but basically, I was 24 and I could tell that my life was going nowhere pretty much, and so I asked my friend, I says, "How did you meet your wife?" And he says, "Well, I just prayed to meet her." And I thought, "Really? You just prayed and you met her?" So I thought, well, I guess I'm going to try it. So I prayed or whatever. And so there was this dance. And back in the day, that was the only way you could meet people. And I think you've heard me tell this, but I went to this dance 3 times. So I went at 9, there was no one there. I came back at 10, there was no one there. And then I went there and the whole time I'm like driving around thinking, what a waste, you know. This is so dumb. You can't meet anybody. So then I think I went at 10:30 and I saw her. There was her and another girl. Good thing I didn't ask the other girl because I probably would have married her. That's how desperate I was. I'm just kidding. No, but anyway, I asked her to dance once, and then we went to JB's Big Boy where they have the Olive Garden now, and we just had
Oh,
like a ice cream thing, and
uh-huh.
then just kind of hung out and talked, and then the the very next day I went to go see her, and the whole time I'm just thinking, wow, something's different. Like, but I didn't realize it at the time. I just kind of think it was like the spirit kind of saying, she's the one. You found her type thing. But what's interesting though is about 6 months down the road, because my mom always told me to date other people to make sure that they were the right one. So I would go on a date with someone else because that's what my mom told me to do. And
Mhm.
so anyway, at one point, Julie and I were. I thought, well, this isn't going anywhere. We might as well break up. And anyway, she started bawling or something. I can't remember. And we ended up hugging, and then we ended up just staying together. And then like a month later, we got engaged on the 4th of July. We got married on August 18th. But I know my parents were really mad because we just once we decided we were gonna get married, we just got married fast, and that no point in waiting, so to
Why,
speak,
why were they mad? Because it was quick?
because we didn't really give them any notice or anything. We just
Oh,
decided we were going to get married in a month. So,
yeah.
but and my dad bought the ring for her, which
Yeah.
I've never bought her a diamond ring. So, and he gave me $2,000 back in the day, and I went to Sam's Club on the day they opened, and I ran in there thinking all the diamond rings were going to get taken or whatever, and then we bought this ring, and then she's since lost the rock, so now she wears a fake ring that I bought off of Amazon for like $35, and it actually looks better than the other one. But so she doesn't even really have a wedding ring right now, and I've bought two of them. I just hate jewelry, so I don't wear jewelry at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think I had heard that you guys almost broke up, but I hadn't really heard that story much. You
Well,
kind of left that part out a lot.
she was dating other guys because I was dating. I thought we should date other people, but
So
that
she thought you weren't serious, I guess.
well, I didn't know she was really the one or whatever, and I don't know. After we dated other people, we realized that we were more compatible than we thought, really. So I guess it was kind of a good thing. But
Mm. Could you see that from the beginning that you were, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. How do you feel like you were compatible? Just like,
um, so our dates were really kind of lame. We would actually go run stairs together, or we'd go jogging, or we would. Um, I cooked her tacos once while she was on a date with some other guy. I didn't have any money at all. So back in the day, they had a store called Hoagie Yogi, and it was buy one, get one free. And because she had a job, she would buy the one and I would eat the free because I didn't have any money. Well, I was actually working at the Bon Marché,
Mm.
which is where the old Macy's used to be or whatever. And I remember her and might have been Jackie or Suzanne. It's probably Jackie, but anyway, they came in and they used my Bon Marché discount or whatever. So I was only making like $5 an hour. So I didn't, never had any money, but she had a school teaching job. So
So she was getting big bucks teaching school.
I, I think between BLM and the school, I think she's making like 24,000, which this was
Yeah.
back in 1991, which is a lot of money, I guess, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah. So I
before
guess you
Biden.
guys you guys were compatible on financial things, and it seems like being content with simple dates, I guess, right? Stair running and hoagies and stuff.
We did go skiing once at Targhee together, and she
Mm.
paid, and she was really mad because she paid, but I didn't have any money at all. Like I was just, I was broke pretty much. Didn't really have a very good job. So
Mm. She
yeah,
must have liked you a lot to risk it all on a broke guy.
yeah, we weren't. Yeah, it wasn't because of money that we got married, I guess. So I guess
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it's good. Um, so I guess we could talk more about like career stuff. You worked at Social Security and you still work at Social Security, and then you sold real estate for what, like 15, 20 years or so?
Yeah, I sold real estate for when we lived in Roberts, which was COVID kind of killed my business. It was about 20 years that I did real estate actually, which
Hmm.
I sound like I'm 100 years old, but I could still activate my broker's license if I wanted to. But I probably sold over 100 houses easy. But a
Hmm.
lot of it was because Julie's parents were doing that subdivision, and Um, so a lot of my sales were that those lots and stuff, but because I sold those lots, I sold houses and I had to get all kinds of leads, but I was illegally, I take somebody's listing and I take a picture of it and then I put all my contact information in it and then I got fined but by the
Oh,
real estate commission, but I did that for like 15 years and nobody complained until this one guy did and so that
oh.
pretty much killed my business because um I just basically sell their listing. They wouldn't advertise their listing, I would, and then I would just get the profit off of it. So
You
I
got to
didn't think
break
it was
some eggs
illegal
to make an
either.
omelet, I guess.
Yeah. So probably a good thing I didn't get caught right away, but as soon as they found that out, it was really hard to get leads because you just have to run ads and I was full time anyway. So I was just doing it part time and selling stuff on the weekends because most realtors don't want to work on the weekends. That's why I would sell on the weekends. But so
Yeah. You had like a website that was kind of like Zillow before Zillow, I guess, where you would show other people's listings. It's like a proto Zillow, I
yeah,
guess.
I would make listings on my website because I could load their picture and then I'd put all my information on it. But I also use Craigslist. Um, I made a ton of money on Craigslist, but now I guess it's Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if anybody uses Craigslist anymore.
I
So
don't, so, but
yeah,
I'm
I
sure
have a
someone does.
I used to pay like $5 to make $3,000, and I was one of the first people that actually used Google Ads. So I would buy the term Idaho Falls, Idaho real estate, and so I'd send them to my web page, and it would tell them the exact hours, the exact areas. You could search for listings on my website, contact information, and people would leave their stuff. And I think it's just because I got in early, but I was buying like Idaho Falls, Idaho real estate for 25 cents. Well, now it's
Mhm.
like $7, $8, which you'd go broke in a hurry if you're trying to run Google ads to promote your business.
Yeah. So you were
So
kind of like ahead of the curve and an early adopter of technology and search engine optimization sort of things. Seems like.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then real estate kind of backfired on me too, because when I went to Nouveau Riche, I learned all these ways to make money. So I ended up buying like 6 houses. I think you've heard this story. About 6 houses in a trailer park, and I did 100% financing. Well, the economy crashed in 2008. And so for 7 years, I pretty much went through hell trying to get rid of these listings. But I had all kinds of weird experiences. Like I'd have people call me out of the blue and say, um, hey, we want to look at this house. So I'd show up at the house, pray in the house before they got there, and they would want that house and only look at one house. I never knew who they were or where they came from, but that saved me like probably 10 different times. But when you went on a mission and Jackson went on a mission, one time I was just so mad because was leveraged to the hilt. I didn't have any money. I'm like, how am I going to pay for this? I was like almost mad at God, you know. I'm like, how am I going to pay for this? And within 60 days, I sold 5 houses and generated over $20,000. I mean, it
Wow.
was just, I don't know how it happened, but it just got rid of, like, I was able to pay something off that freed up $800 or something. And anyway,
Mhm.
it's just kind of a mini miracle. But I had lots of little mini miracles. And then when I finally sold the last house, I ended up losing about $30,000 to sell it. But I took whatever money I had out of the house and I bought a paddle board. And so that's when I kind of decided that the simple life is the good life. And I would float on the paddle board and I'd think of all the, because I was using my leave to go fix houses and I was borrowing money from my parents. And I was just borrowed money from my thrift savings plan to fix a house to get rid of it. And it just made our money tighter and tighter and tighter, you know. And so just
Yeah.
a lot of stress in my life. And I get off of work and I'd have to work till like 10, 11 at night to try and figure out how to get out of this debt that because it was like $1.3 million in the hole when I had all 6 of them. And
Wow.
that was just hell on earth. Never leverage yourself to the point that it's just not worth it, you know. But
Yeah. Well, I feel like since I was like 14 in 2008, that I remember all that pretty well. And I feel like I kind of adopted your same philosophy of get a paddleboard,
it's
but
true.
without all the trial and error that
Well,
you
listen
went
to
through.
this. Randy, who used to work at Social Security, and we've been to basketball, state basketball with, right?
Yeah.
So now he's doing all these disability claims because he's retired from Department of Labor, but now um, he's working with a lawyer to do all these disability claims. And he told me that he would make 400 to $600,000. He thinks,
Mhm.
of course, that's Randy talking, you know, so probably
Yeah.
about half that. But anyway, I told him, I said, when I retire, I'm not going to want anything to do with Social Security. I hate this job. You know, like sometimes it's all I can do to make it till 3:30 every day. That's why I leave on Fridays, you know, and it makes my
Yeah.
coworkers mad. But now they just expect me to be gone. Like I've trained them all. Like
Yeah.
Friday, I'm doing something fun. I don't care what the weather's doing. I'm not working, you know. So
Right. Well, that's probably healthy. I think we work too much as a
yeah,
society, but
for sure.
um, how did that affect you working a job that you didn't like so long?
Well, I kind of feel bad because I think it kind of like I was telling Kylie she should get a government job and she would never work for the government because she's heard me complain so much. But really the upside of working for the government is all the benefits. Like I've
Yeah.
never people don't see that. Like I get 27 days off a year, 13 sick leave. I get administrative leave on New Year's Eve. Actually, we get probably 14 federal days off. No, we get 12 or 13 federal days off a year on top of the sick leave and the annual leave. And then I can work credit hours or overtime. Like last week, I worked 3 days, 3.5 days, and I worked overtime on Saturday. What other job could you do that, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I went to Kylie's graduation. So the nice thing about a federal job is my job's so flexible that if I really wanted to fly to Pennsylvania or go to Mexico or go to my daughter's graduation, I can at the drop of a hat, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's why I work at Social Security is because of all the benefits, really. I wish I
Yeah.
made more money, but I make enough to survive and I don't need a ton of money to be happy. I've decided, but
Just need that paddle board.
that paddle bar and XRP to go to 10,000 a coin. I'm just
That's right.
kidding.
Well, that's cool. Let's see do you feel like what kind of beliefs or I don't know, things about your personality have changed throughout your adulthood? until now? Like, I mean, you mentioned changing your philosophy to be more work-life balance, but what else?
Um, like high school, I was voted most humorous, and I think I just enjoyed life better when I was a didn't have so many responsibilities. But as I've gotten older, oh, there's little Charlie stabbing me. There she is, right there.
Hey, Charlie.
You see Braxton?
Hey, Uncle Braxton.
It's Braxton.
She looks a little confused.
He's like, what's
Rayman
going
Reese's
on?
dad.
What was the question? I forgot.
Just
Oh, what's
how
changed?
your personality or beliefs have changed. You mentioned being humorous in high school.
Yeah. I was like, if you read my mission journals, they are very not religious. Like you would not believe how bad I was. I mean, it was the 80s and my parents would just let us, they watched everything and anything, kind of, because I don't know. But I've, I've kind of mellowed out a little bit, but I think what's really changed is I used to be super athletic and sports used to be really important to me. I still like to go to the gym and stuff, but
Yeah.
like I used to love to go play basketball. Like I go play basketball for 2, 3 hours, and I was pretty good at it because I spent a lot of time shooting growing up. Like I could shoot the ball because I'd spent thousands of hours shooting the ball, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of changed, but I don't know. We're getting more and more boring. Uh, but I guess Cash and Ty are moving in with us here pretty quick, so the party will be beginning here again, I guess. So
They'll bring the party to you. All
I
right.
like to study more that I'm older, I guess. I'm really
Oh,
into
really?
YouTube. Yeah, here's something. My latest hobby is Chat GPT. I ask it everything.
Yeah.
Like, analyze this book, analyze that, like
Yeah.
um actually use it to study the Book of Mormon and conference talks and stuff like that, and it can just like summarize it. But like I was getting lazy. We used to teach the primary children. I say, make me a lesson. These guys don't have very long attention spans. We need 6 activities. We're covering either 6 through 11. It's just like pops it out in like 10 seconds. It's like
Yeah.
so. I love that part of technology. I just hate it when my software doesn't work at work. But
Yeah, ChatGPT is cool. I feel like I like the version 4 better than the new version 5, right? That the right now version 5. I don't
oh,
like its
really?
personality as much.
Have you tried Grok?
No, I haven't. I've tried
Grok is
DeepSeek.
a little more seedy, I feel, but I don't know. I got the Chat GPT where I can ask it more intense questions. So,
Yeah.
but I was on it for about 5 hours today, and I like how it kind of leads you to another thought, and then so you're like, oh yeah, tell me about that, and then all the questions I've had, I just start feeding it in there, and I think Chat GPT, like if you just feed it evil stuff, like you're feeding it just dumb stuff, it will continue to pull up dumb stuff. But if you feed it like good stuff, and what's killer is that like I told it I had a stroke,
Uh-huh.
and it gives me advice all the time of how to fix the stroke and stuff. Are you out of time?
I think we have like 5 minutes left. Do you
Oh.
wanna talk about your stroke at all? Like how is
Um,
that?
so I guess so, but I was going to the gym, so I mean, but
Yeah.
part of it's I just had the holes in my heart, which they fixed, which caused this last year we had all kinds of financial problems. We had our sewer thing go out, and then our sprinklers went out, and then I
Yeah.
had the stroke, and so I'm still paying on all these medical bills. But like right after, like 2 weeks after I got my heart fixed, we went on a really hard hike, and I was hauling 41 pounds, 7 miles, and my legs kind of gave out. I packed it too high, and I'm not.
Mhm.
I think my legs have lost a little bit of muscle, although I'm at an all-time high on my weight. The more I work out, the more I weigh. I'm getting thicker, I guess. But Um, I don't know. I've I take medication now, whereas before I didn't, and
Yeah.
just try and sit in the sauna. I don't know. Just trying to eat healthier, but we had pizza last night. It was pretty good.
Yeah, you got to have a
Big
cheat
Doug's
day.
pizza.
All right. Well, thanks for doing the interview. I know it's not easy to make time, but
Well, yeah.
um,
Now you can
great.
write my book. You know everything about me.
Yeah, this interview will be a good outline for your book. Wanted to say I love you a lot and appreciate
Oh,
you
thank
doing
you.
the work you did to provide a good childhood for all of us, and yeah, taught me a lot of lessons along the way about financial things and I don't know, just how to be a parent. So
Well, yeah, I love you too, and you're a great example to your kids, and you're a better parent than I was. So keep it up.
I don't know. I'll try. I'll try.
If
But
XRP ever goes up, I'll fly us all down to Sayulita or something. We can all go
yeah.
surfing. That's my goal, but
All
Julie
right.
thinks I'm full of crap.
We'll see. We'll see. But all right, well, we'll talk soon.
All right. See ya. Have a good day.
You too.